In the 1979 James Bond movie Moonraker, 007 dons a Seiko watch which contains explosives and a remote detonator which he uses to escape from the Moonraker launch platform. In GoldenEye, from 1995, Bond wears an Omega Seamaster which shoots lasers out of the pip at 12 on the bezel insert, allowing him to cut through the floor of a train carriage rigged to explode. Now, whilst these are two examples of pretty unique watches, you could say, the truth is that watches do play a huge part in James Bond film. I'm sure you're as disappointed as I am to find out that the latest Bond film, No Time to Die, has been delayed to 2nd of April 2021. But that does not stop us from dressing up in tuxedos and talking about watches now, does it? So which watch are we going to talk about in this video, I hear you say? Well, in February 2020, Swatch released a 007 tribute collection. 6 watches based on previous Bond films alongside this one, designed for the upcoming No Time to Die film. This watch is specifically designed and styled around Q, standing for Quartermaster, the head of the Q branch, later the Q division, the fictional research and development division of the British Secret Service. Now, I'm gonna let you down gently. Unfortunately, this watch does not contain lasers and explosives, but it's still a pretty great watch for 186 quid. So without further ado, let's open the box and check it out. It comes in a very unassuming white cardboard box with the Swatch logo printed on top. As we open one end, we're presented with something rather intriguing, and that is what looks like connections of a laptop. There's what looks like a charging point reminiscent of the old MagSafe connections on old MacBooks. There's also some pretty gigantic USB ports. Now, they don't seem to scale, that's for sure, so maybe they're for some proprietary Secret Service cables. As we slide out the inner box, we see the Q logo in the middle with Swatch and 007 at the top. Well, the box opens up like a laptop, a clever unboxing process oozing with Q nerdiness. What do we have within the laptop? Well, obviously the watch in question, but also a fake screen and a keyboard. As we retrieve the watch out of the box, we see below it is where the manual and also the guarantee certificate are. So moving on to the watch then, our eyes are immediately drawn to the exposed quartz movement used as a backdrop of the dial. Personally, I love seeing exposed cogs, oscillators and batteries, even if it isn't quite as extravagant as a mechanical movement. There's no denying that being able to see the movement itself is very Q. As I pop it on your wrist, you'll notice it's a really, really lovely size. With a 41.5mm diameter and a 45mm lug-to-lug length, it's large enough to draw attention to it, but not so large it's overkill. One very impressive dimension about this watch is the height. It's incredibly slender at a mere 5.9mm, and you can just see how easily it fits underneath the cuff. Coupled with a really light weight of only 45 grams, this is such an easy watch to wear. The red rehaut surrounding the dial introduces a beautiful splash of colour to it, and on top of that is complemented by the blue of the hour markers and also the hands. Really good, simple use of colour here, nothing too complex, but it does make for a really pleasing design. The case has a simple vertical brushed finish to it, but what's really impressive is this flowing contour along the two sides. It's much better, much more interesting than a standard barrel case, and it's even more compelling when you take into consideration the height of it. Some might be frustrated by the slightly unusual lugs because you won't be able to fit an aftermarket strap without cutting little notches on the end of them. The leather itself is lovely and soft, but a little bit stiff straight out of the box. No doubt in time it will supple up though. The red sealed edging allows the striking red of the rehaut to flow through, which is a really nice design touch. The printed Tattersall pattern is a nice touch as well, keeping things really interesting and stylish. But if you're extremely fashion conscious, it could limit what you wear this watch with. The buckle is a really interesting design as well. It's double-sided, and this external side acts like a keeper loop. So in reality, we only need one loose leather keeper. Quite a simple but clever buckle, and I'm sure it's one that Q himself would approve. Before we wrap this up, what other specs are worth noting? Don't forget that this watch is Swiss made with a solid, dependable quartz movement manufactured by ETA, one of the most respected movement manufacturers in the world. The 2Q also comes with a 2-year warranty. So what are my final thoughts on this watch? If you're a die-hard James Bond fan, that's not a mixture of two films, yippee-ki-yay, then it's a no-brainer. Design-wise, you can't deny it looks fantastic. It's so easy to wear and it's remarkably well made as well. For many, it has that all-important Swiss-made label, synonymous with quality. And when you take into account the fact that the RRP is £186, it is a fine timepiece. Thank you so much for watching, guys. The link to buy this watch is below in the description. Don't forget to like this video, please, and also drop us a comment on what you think about this watch. Also, don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. I'll see you next time.